Hey everybody, how are you? You know what I didn't do? Turn that music off. What I didn't do, if you guys could give me a thumbs up, if you could share, if you could text your friends. I didn't send out a text message to our group. I forgot to do that, y'all. So if you could share that we are on, otherwise I know folks will come on later, but when you come in, say hello to the community, everybody that's sitting in the living room. You can take your seat on the sofa there. Appreciate you being here. Thank you, Deborah, for being here. How are you? Howdy, howdy. If you have not subscribed to the channel, please do so. We are 2 subscriptions away from 400 subscribers, and I want to reach 400 subscribers before Mother's Day. And so I ask that you help me do some recruiting, that you reach out to your friends and your neighbors and you ask them, hey, have you subscribed to this channel? Subscribe to it and help her reach 400 followers. Happy to have you here. Thank you for being here. And so let me see. I'm debating on whether or not I should go ahead and try to do this because this might take me offline. I don't know if y'all can still see me, but I'm going to try and send out this text message. I'm sorry. Hello to everybody there looking. Send out a text message that says, join us tonight. Of course, here's one. So I can just resend this. We are talking the life of Joseph. You guys talk amongst yourselves. Thank you for being here so much. I don't even know if you can see me because I am in on a whole nother screen over here. Just forgot to send out this text message, y'all. So listen, this is a perfect segue to say, hey, join our text message thread. And the way that you do that, today is 5/9. I'll put it up in 1 second so that you can get a text message every time that we go live. You can meet us on this YouTube. Okay, I did that. Let me put in all of these names. I'm going to just click all. Everybody on our team, everybody in our community is going to get a text message. Those of you who are already on, you are going to get the text message now. And I hit send. Okay. Hey, you can see me? Okay, good. Hello, glad that you are here. Thank you guys for being here. Thank you so much. And that text message just went out. So folks are going to get it and then hopefully they'll start coming in. But I am glad that you guys are here. What I was saying is the text message that I just sent out, boy, this is a perfect way to let you know about that. This is what it is. What I need you to do in order to join us and get onto our text thread or our text community is to text the word community with a K, KOMMUNITY. Send it to 866-939-6096, 866-939-6096, and you will get a text message every time we go live, or if something is going on, you will definitely get that text message. I want to encourage you to join us for Bible studies every Thursday. And we're right here every Thursday at 8 o'clock from 8 until 9 Eastern Standard Time. Right now, we are talking about the life of Joseph from pit to palace. We want to thank our sponsors, Young People Nation. Thank you so much for being a sponsor. We definitely appreciate you. They are on every Thursday. Be sure to follow them, give them a thumbs up and a subscribe to their channel because they are doing great things. So we want to encourage you to do that. Also want to encourage you to join Davis Consultants as they come on with Today is Your Day. They also have a new broadcast that they are doing, and we want you to follow them on Facebook and also on YouTube, and encourage you to follow him and to make sure that you follow him. On Fridays, he has a new segment that he's doing at 12 noon on every Friday. So make sure you follow Davis Consultants or Jonathan Davis, and you can get the information on that. Want to say hello to Montre Roberts. Thank you for being a great sponsor. A Word and a Song every third Sunday. You can find her on Facebook under Montre Roberts. Screenshot that so you know where to find her. And she is on at 7 o'clock every third Sunday. And I think that is it. All right, let us get started. We are talking about Joseph, and we stopped at chapter 42. I feel like there's another place I was supposed to send a text message. Let me think. I need to send a text message to, I think this is it. No, I just did that. I think it's just those two. All right, guys, I need your help. I need to reach 400 subscribers on this YouTube channel. If you have not subscribed, subscribe. I just need two more people to have 400 subscribers. If you have a cousin or a friend who is not subscribed to this channel, shoot them this link and tell them to subscribe just to help me out. I'd appreciate it. Let me see. I'm trying to see where I'm at now. Yep, at 398. Two more people. I just need two people. Can y'all recruit two people? Two individuals. Two. All right. Open up your Bibles. Open up your iPhones. Go to Genesis chapter 42. That is where we left off. Genesis chapter 42. You will meet your goal tonight. Thank you. I appreciate that. Positive thinking and encouragement. Just need two people. You guys reach out to your friends and tell them, subscribe to this channel. All right, I believe that. Okay, we stopped at verse 1, or let's backtrack to verse 1. So let's start at verse 1 in chapter 42. Now, when Jacob saw that there was corn in Egypt, Jacob said unto his sons, why do we look upon one another? Oh, remember, there's a famine happening. Let me do the backtrack. I'm sorry. I'm horrible television person. All right. In chapter 41, this is when the famine, well, even before that, Pharaoh had a dream about the 7 cows and the sleek cows and the heavier cows. Then he had another dream about the 7 heads of grain, the healthy grain, and then the grain that was not so good. All this was in chapter 42. I'm just doing a quick recap. And then he needed his dream interpreted. And so Joseph was brought to his attention. He had the dream. Joseph was like, I cannot interpret your dreams. However, God will give Pharaoh the answers that he desires. He says that in verse 16. So Joseph told him about the dreams. Joseph told him what to do as far as getting things in order, because there was about to be a famine in the land. And we talked about how pay attention to what Holy Spirit is going to pay attention to what Holy Spirit is telling you to do because of things that are happening in the earth. I just grabbed someone's phone and subscribe. Check your number. Oh, you did? Okay, wait, let me look. He got me all off course. We are looking for, $3.99. Okay, I need one more person to have 400 subscribers. So y'all grab somebody's phone and subscribe them. subscribe them to this channel. We are almost there. Just need 400 subscribers. Would love that. Maybe we'll have the 400th person come on and talk or say something. I don't know. That would be fun, right? So send out a text message to your phone, people in your phone, and tell them, hey, subscribe to this channel, and send them the link. Yes, I see that subscriber. I'm at 399. I need one more person. Okay, anyway, we're doing a review of chapter 41. Let's see. We're trying to reach a goal. Everybody that's coming in, we want 400 subscribers. We only need one more person. So Go ahead and subscribe to this channel so that we can reach our goal of 400 subscribers, and we will be ever so grateful. Okay, we're at $3.99 right now. Just need one more. Okay, so then let's see. We're reviewing chapter 41. What else is happening in chapter 41? The plan. Okay, so they said, so Pharaoh said, okay, Joseph is going to be over all of this. He's going to show us how to sort things, how to lay things out. That's what Joseph did and all of that. Okay, now we are in chapter 42. That was our recap. We are in chapter 42. Chapter 42 at verse 1 starts out and says, now when Jacob saw that this is Joseph's father. When Jacob saw that there was corn in Egypt, Jacob said unto his sons, why do we look on each other? Verse 2, and he said, behold, I have heard that there is corn in Egypt. Get down there and buy some corn for us that we may live and not die. Here's another thing that I want to share with you. There are things that I believe that the Lord gives us, maybe words of prophecy, words of encouragement. But I want you to remember when prophecy comes, or when I'll just stick with that. When prophecy comes, there's an aspect of that prophetic word, but then there's an aspect that prophetic word. It's going to do what it do. It's going to do its thing. But then there's also a part that we have to play in. Okay, let me see what you're saying to me. What are you saying to me? I just had someone else subscribe. Check your numbers. All right. Wait a minute. We're about to check these numbers once again. It's still saying $3.99. Let me get out of here. And 400. We reached it. I almost jumped out of my chair. Woo, woo. 400 subscribers. Thank you so much. 400 subscribers. Yay. We did it. We did it. Thank you. Jonathan, we're going to have you come on so that you can talk about your new show and all that stuff. We're going to have you on. We reached our goal. 400 subscribers to the YouTube channel. And so those of you who are a part of this family, this growing community, thank you for being here. Thank you guys for being a part of it. You know, got us all off track, but that's okay because we reached our goal. So it's a part of what we're doing. We are growing. We are expanding. And thank you to those who recently subscribed. It is so beautiful to be able to see that number, 400 subscribers. You got to celebrate every win. I'm patting myself on the back, but I need to be patting y'all on the back. Thank you. Thank you for your help. Random people walking down the road. Give me your phone. Let me help you subscribe to this. Now I've got my, anyway, I don't know why my nose always runs when I'm on here. Okay, let me put this in the chat. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I am super excited. Almost jumped out of my chair. This is where we are right now. We are in Genesis chapter 42. Is that right? I hit one. Genesis chapter 42. Thank you for helping us. I'm so happy. I'm so happy. Thank you for helping us reach our goal. Right now we are in Genesis 42. Okay, verse 3. And Joseph's 10th brother went down to buy corn in Egypt. Then Benjamin, Joseph's brother, Jacob sent not his brethren, for he said, lest peradventure mischief befall him. And basically, thank you. I appreciate you so much. I appreciate you. Basically, what this is saying is, Benjamin is saying, don't send all of the brothers because something may happen. You know, we may have a pitfall or whatever, and we don't want all of the brothers to be wiped out. And so then verse 5 says, and the sons of Israel came to buy corn among those that came, for the famine was in the land of Canaan. Oh, I remember this because then we got off on a tangent talking about Canaan. I'm saying I got off on a tangent talking about Canaan. So we did read this last week. When they say the sons of Israel, well, Joseph's dad, Jacob, his name was also Israel. His name changed. So the sons of Jacob, they came down to buy corn, and for the famine was in the land of Canaan. Remember, Canaan is supposed to be the land of milk and honey, where you could get a lot of what you needed and wanted. the land that the children, verse 6. And Joseph was the governor over the land, and he brothers came and bowed down to him, bowed down themselves before him, and their faces to the earth. Joseph, remember Joseph had that dream that we talked about way in the beginning of the chapter, where his brothers, he had the dream about the sun and the moon bowing down, and his brothers were like, so what do you say? And I don't want to say the stars. And his brothers are like, what are you saying? You're saying that we're going to bow down to you? Well, this is the fulfillment of that dream that he had. This is why I encourage you to write your dreams down, or either put them in your message on your phone, you know, the little message pad on your phone or what have you. Write your dreams down, because sometimes they don't happen immediately, but down the road, you know, this happened years and years and years later, after Joseph had been sold. He had been in prison. He had been, you know, the leader over in Potiphar's house. He had been accused by Potiphar's wife. He had been put in jail. All this stuff had happened. But this dream, it was really a prophetic dream that he had. This dream came to pass in verse 6 in chapter 42. Joseph was the governor over all the land, it says. He sold to all the people of the land, and his brothers came and they bowed down before him with their faces to the earth. He absolutely followed that, or the fulfillment of the dream. Verse 7, and Joseph saw his brothers, and he knew them, but made himself strange unto them, and spake roughly unto them, and said unto them, where did you come from? And they said, from the land of Canaan, to buy food. Now he immediately recognized his brothers, but he had been through, I don't want to say been through so much, but he had been through so much, but obviously the way he looked was different. I would imagine with him being in prison, he probably had lost a lot of weight. Maybe he had facial hair, or, you know, maybe his hair had grown out long. And when you're not around someone for a long time, even if you've grown up with them, when you see them again, it's like, wow, you really do look different. But the more you look at them, it's like, oh, I can see the resemblance of that old person that I knew, or that old face, that old person that I remember. But Joseph, it says that he knew his brothers immediately when he saw them, but he made himself strange unto them. It was like he put on that persona. Maybe he was just trying to figure out, I don't even know how to deal with these folks right here. Like, oh my goodness, these are my brothers. Because he didn't immediately embrace them. And it says that he spoke harsh to them. Verse 8, and Joseph knew his brothers, but they knew him not. Verse 9, and Joseph remembered the dreams which he dreamt of them, and said unto them, ye are spies, to see the nakedness of the land, ye are come. Verse 10, and they said unto him, no, my Lord, but to buy food are thy servants come. We didn't come to spy, we came to buy food. Verse 11, we are all one man's son. We are true men. Thy servants are no spies. And he said unto them, nay, but to see the nakedness of the land you came here. And they said, thy servants are 12 brothers, the sons of one man in the land of Canaan. And behold, the youngest is this day with thy father, and one is not. So he's saying it's 12 of us. The youngest brother is with daddy, and one of our brothers is not with us. But all of us are not, we're servants of, one man. We're sons of one man. We're not spies at all. They're really, really trying to convince him. They're going back and forth. And Joseph said unto him, that is it that I spake unto you, saying, ye are spies. He is really, really, really giving them a hard time. And hereby ye shall be proved by the life of Pharaoh. Ye shall not go forth hence, except your youngest brother come hither. And so he was like, okay, I'm not going to let you go any further until your youngest brother comes. Verse 16, send one of you and let him fetch your brother, and ye shall be kept in prison, that your words may be proved, whether there be any truth in them or in you, or else by the life of Pharaoh, surely ye are spies. And he put them all together He put them all together for 3 days. He put them in a space for 3 days. And Joseph said unto them the third day, this do and live, for I fear God. Verse 19, if ye be true men, let one of your brothers be bound in the house of your prison. Go ye, carry corn for the famine to your house. So basically, he said, if you are true, if what you're telling me is the truth, I want you guys to leave here. Let one of your brothers stay, and you can take the food back to your family in Canaan, because the famine is happening. Verse 20, but bring your youngest brother back with you. So shall your words be verified, and ye shall not die. And they did exactly as he requested. And they said to one another, we are verily guilty concerning our brother, in that we saw the anguish of his soul when he besought us, and we would not hear. Therefore, in this distress come upon us. So basically what they're saying is, we are guilty over the fact that we sold Joseph, and the anguish that we saw in his eyes, that's the anguish that we have right now. That is the scariness, the part of the unknown that we don't know about, that we're not sure about. We are really concerned about that. And he's basically saying that we wouldn't even listen to him. We wouldn't listen to what he was saying, or we wouldn't pay attention to the way he was looking. And he said, now that same distress is upon us. Verse 22. And Reuben answered them, saying, spake I unto you, saying, do not sin against the child, and ye would not listen to me. Therefore, behold, also his blood is required. Verse 23, and they knew not that Joseph understood them, and he spake unto them by an interpreter. So they were speaking in their own native language in front of Joseph, saying, oh man, we did this to our brother and he was scared. Now we are afraid. Now we're scared. And Reuben was saying, listen, I was telling y'all not to do it, but you wouldn't pay attention to what I was saying, and you wouldn't stop. You just wouldn't hear it. But Joseph understood everything that they were saying, because he understood the language. And so he spoke to them by an interpreter, and he turned himself about from them, and he wept, and returned to them again, and communed with them, and took from them Simeon, and bound him before their eyes. So they were really scared, like, man, this ruler, and this is all in verse 24 of chapter 42. They're saying, this ruler has bound our brother Simeon. And Joseph, after he had heard them having this conversation, it was like, oh man, these are my brothers. So he had to probably excuse himself. He wept. And when he came back, he communed with them. And then he took the brother and he bound him up, tied him up, saying, okay, take the food that you guys have bought back to your families, because we know that there's a famine going on. Your families can eat, but I want you to bring back that youngest brother. Verse 25, then Joseph commanded to fill their sacks with corn, and to restore every man's money unto his sack, and to give them provision for the way. And thus they did unto them. Wow. So Joseph, not only did he give them, he probably gave them more than enough, because he knew this was his family. So he knew that his dad was still there, probably had aunties and uncles, and maybe, Miss Jean that lived next door and all that. They wanted to help them people out. So they filled all their sacks with corn. They gave them their money back, and they gave them extra money, extra provisions for them to, as they were going on their way. So gave them probably some extra bread to eat on the way, and bread and water. And Joseph told him to do that, and they did it, because of course he was in charge. Verse 26 says, and they laded their donkeys with the corn, and they departed quickly. Verse 27, and as one of them opened his sack to give his donkey a provender in the inn, he espied his money, for behold, it was in the sack's mouth. Oh, okay. So they put the grain or the corn in the sacks, and they also put the money in the sacks, but the brothers didn't realize it. So when they got to the point where they were going to, give some of the feed to their livestock, he saw the money, because the money was at the top of the sack. Verse 28. And he said unto his brothers, my money is restored, and lo, it is even in my sack. And their heart failed them, and they were afraid, because they were like, okay, what does this mean? He's given us our money back. Our sacks are full. What does this mean? And they were afraid, saying one to another, what is this that God has done unto us? They didn't see the blessing of it because they didn't know the full picture, the full story. Ooh, so should be an encouragement for someone. When something happens, when something happens, or God allows someone to bless you, or when something happens, ask God to show you, and he may not, just because you ask doesn't mean that he will, but ask God to show you or give you insight over the big picture. Don't jump to conclusions like, oh man, this is just it. And because you only have a piece of it. Their hearts failed them, and they were afraid, and they said to one another, what is this that God has done unto us? Like, what really is happening? What is really going on? And what is he doing to us? Are we reaping what we've sowed? And that may be the case in some cases, but in this, they didn't know the full story. They didn't know that it was their brother Joseph who was really blessing them. But because they saw it from their perspective, they looked at it as, uh-oh, we might be in trouble. That's a whole nother lesson, your perspective. Maybe ask God to give you the right perspective on whatever you are dealing with. The right perspective. Their brother Joseph had one perspective. I'm going to fill their bags up. I'm going to give their money back. And they're going to go and get their other brother and bring their other brother to me. Because basically he was saying, I want to see all of my brothers. He didn't tell them that, but that was his game plan. But when the brothers saw the sacks filled and then the money on top of the sacks, it was like, oh no, we've been duped. And that ruler has Simeon. Are we going to get him back? Perspective. Ooh, perspective. That, I'm telling you, ask God to allow you to see things from the right perspective. Again, he may not show you the whole picture, but having the right perspective matters. And let's see. And they came unto Jacob, their father, unto the land of Canaan, and told him all that happened to them, saying, the man who is the Lord of the land spake roughly to us and took us for spies of the country. Verse 31. And we said unto him, we are true men. We are no spies. Verse 32. We be 12 brothers, the son of one of our father. One is not with us, and the youngest is with our father in the land of Canaan. And the man, the Lord of the country, said unto us, hereby shall I know that ye are true men. Leave one of your brothers here with me. Take the food for the famine to your households and be gone. And bring your youngest brother unto me. Then shall I know that ye are not spies, but ye were true men. So will I deliver your brother, and ye shall go back to your land. Yes. Yes, indeed. We can go back to the land. Okay, verse 35. We're still in chapter 42. We're in chapter 42, verse 35. And it came to pass as they emptied their sacks, and behold, every man's bundle of money was in his sack. And when both they and their father saw the bundles of money, they were afraid. Again, perspective. They were afraid. Joseph was doing it because he loved them. He was doing it because it was really they had favor, but they didn't see it as favor because of their perspective. Man, I just keep standing on that, hearing that perspective. In this season, a lot of it is all about perspective. Make sure you have the right perspective. Make sure to ask God to give you insight on the right perspective. Okay, they were afraid. Verse 36, and Jacob, their father, said unto them, me have ye bereaved my children. Joseph is not here, and Simeon is not here, and you will take Benjamin away. All of these things are against me. It's like, listen, what are you doing? This is basically what he is saying in verse 36. what are you doing? It's almost like you're picking off my children, talking to the brothers, to the whole group of them. He was saying, Joseph is not with us. He's gone. Now Simeon is not with us. He's been captured. And remember, they thought Joseph was dead. Simeon is with the Lord of the land. And now you want to take Benjamin, which is the youngest. You want to take him away from me? And he was like, all of these things are against me. Basically, everything will be lost. Verse 37, and Reuben spake unto his father, saying, slay my two sons, if I bring him not to thee. Deliver him unto my hand, and I will bring him to me again. So basically, Reuben said, listen, I got two boys. You can kill them. If I don't bring Simeon back, and if I don't bring Benjamin back. You're giving me your two for my two. So that means I'm going to do everything within my power to bring my two brothers back to you, Father. Verse 38. And he said, my son shall not go down with you, for his brother is dead, talking about Joseph, and he is left alone. If mischief befall him by the way in which ye go, then ye shall bring down my gray hairs with sword. Basically, this is going to tear me up if all of my boys are killed because of the journey that you're on. And sometimes during that time on those roads, there were robbers who were out there on the roads. And so the father was saying, if this happens, this is just really going to be all that I could even stand. So Genesis 43, we are turning to that right now. So if you have your iPhones or whatever you have with you, go to Genesis, the 43rd chapter, because that is where we are reading from now. Okay, Genesis 43, verse 1. And the famine was sore in the land. Verse 2. And it came to pass when they had eaten up the corn which they had brought out in Egypt, their father said unto them, go again and buy us a little food. And Judah spake unto him, saying, the man did solemnly protest us, saying, ye shall not see my face, except your brother be with you. So they were just saying, listen, when we go back, the person, the leader, or the leader, what they call him, the leader of the land. Let me see. The Lord of the country, that's what they called him. The Lord of the country said that you won't see my face unless you bring your brother back. So verse 4, if thou wilt send our brother with us, we will go down and buy thee food. But so obviously they didn't just get the brother and go back. The father was saying, you need to go back and get some more food. So they left their brother. I'm just really wrapping my mind around this. They left Simeon there for a little while, because it says, and the famine was sore in the land, or the famine continued in the land. And it came to pass, that means some time had gone by, when they had eaten up all the corn that they had brought out of Egypt. And their father said to them, go again and buy us some food. Simeon had been left that whole time. Now, what the raggediness is that? You're supposed to come right back and get me, but you left me and y'all gonna eat up all the corn. And if they had extra bags of corn, I'm saying extra bags, but if their bags were stuffed with extra corn, it could have been months, weeks, of course, weeks, but it could have been months or two, a month or two before they went back. And who knows what was going through Simeon's mind. So the brother said, Judah said to the father, the man did solemnly tell us, saying that you shall not see my face, except your brother Benjamin, the youngest one, except you bring Benjamin with you. Verse 4, if thou wilt send our brother with us, we will go down and we will buy food. But if thou wilt not send him, we will not go down. For the man said to us that you will not see my face, except your brother be with you. Verse 6. And Israel, or Jacob, said, wherefore dealt ye so ill of me, as to tell that man whether ye had yet a brother? He was like, are y'all dumb? Are y'all stupid? Why did y'all tell that man y'all had another brother? What? Where's the logic in that? Make that make sense. That's what the father is saying. That's 2024 interpretation. Verse 7. And they said, the man asked us straightly of our state and of our kindred, saying, is your father yet alive? Have ye another brother? And we told him, according to the tenor of those words, could we certainly know that he would say, bring your other brother down? So they were like, we were just being honest. And basically, I'm sure they were saying we were basically afraid. And so, no, we didn't lie, because what if he caught us in a lie? Then he would kill us all. So they had their reasonings. But Joseph, again, ooh, this is perspective again. Joseph also had his reasons for asking those specific questions. Listen to the questions. Is your father still alive? Joseph wanted to know if his dad was still alive. And he said, do you have another brother? Because he counted 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. He counted 10, and he knew that there were 12 of them. Joseph made 11, and there was another brother that would have made 12. So he was trying to find out if all the brothers were still alive. So he was strategic in asking those specific questions. Remember, perspective. From their perspective, they were concerned that he was asking them, I don't know, he was the leader of the land. But from Joseph's perspective, he wanted to know how his family was doing. I believe the word for today is perspective. Seriously, let me put that in here. We have got to have the right perspective. Is it per or perspective? Perspective. If I spelled it wrong, forgive me. Perspective. We have got to have the right perspective. One side of the room sees things from one way. The other side of the room sees things another way. God sees things one way. We see things another way. Remember, his thoughts are not our thoughts. His ways are not our ways. They're higher. We're seeing things from this perspective, but God is like, I can see from, the 3,000-foot view. And when you see things from a higher perspective, whether it's in the natural or even in the spirit, when you see things from a higher perspective, you move differently. You respond differently. You act differently. You conduct yourselves differently. Almost like if you knew that by the end of the week, you were going to get $10 million. There's a different way that you would start seeing things. You would say, okay, I can pay this. So I can pay the car off. I can pay, the mortgage off. Maybe I'm going to buy some investment properties. Maybe I'm going to pay the mortgage off on my home. Okay, who else can I help? Of course, I want to help the poor, but I want to help my families. If your parents are still alive, many people want to help their parents, or if they have siblings who may be struggling or what have you. So there's a different perspective you have when you have money. There's a different perspective you have when you see things from a higher place. Joseph had a different perspective because 1, he was in charge. 2, he knew what was happening all within the land because he was over it. He was the command over it. And he also wanted to know what was happening with his family. Well, his family had the perspective of struggle. Oh my goodness, this is a whole, for y'all preachers, I done gave y'all 4 different topics to go and explore and to preach on. This is another one, not just perspective, but not just money or how you see things, but look at this perspective. Joseph had the perspective of, I had things in order. We have grain that we have stored up over the years, over the last 7 years. So we're going to be good because we're going to ration it out, but we're also going to make money because people are going to have to come and buy from us. So we are set. He knew what was happening in that kingdom, but his brothers came from a perspective of lack. His brothers came from a perspective of not enough. His brothers came from a perspective of we need help. They didn't come from the perspective of I'm the head and not the tail. That wasn't their mindset. Their mindset was, listen, we are in a famine and we hardly have any food. And it's like 15 of us in the house and we need some food. That's a different perspective when you approach things from a place of lack. So I want you to check yourself. Check yourself. Check yourself. Don't wreck yourself. No, check yourself. How are you looking at situations in your life? Are you looking at it from a place of lack, of not enough, of you having to find somebody else that you have to be the borrower and or the person that's looking for help and not the lender. If you're looking at situations as the lender, as I'm the head and not the tail, as I'm the one that's on top, that God is going to cause all things to work out for my good, that's a different perspective. But if you're looking at it from the place of I need help, I don't know if this is going to work out for me. I feel like that I'm always getting the short end of the stick. I'm struggling, and I'm in this place of struggle, mentally and emotionally, financially. Depending on how you're looking at that situation is going to depend on what you see. Come on, preachers. I done gave you another sermon topic or another bullet point. Depending on how you look at a situation, whether it's from lack or whether it's from abundance, depending on how you look at things, that's going to determine what you see. It's going to determine what you see. Absolutely. In every area. And sometimes it's hard to look at things from that perspective as being the head, but we've got to train ourselves. We've got to, that needs to be our knee-jerk reaction. That needs to be, and I'm not saying discount your emotions, because sometimes we're like, oh, I'm just not in a good place. But you get up and you get back to that I am the head. You get back to that place that I always have more than enough. You get back to that place that says, I'm going to always be the lender and not the borrower. I'm walking through this hard place right now, but there is a position for me that I need to get back to. And I mean, in that head space, that's what I'm talking about. It isn't always about the money. It isn't always about the resources. It's about perspective. Perspective. I've heard people say this, and I guess the more I grow, I'm getting a real tangible understanding of it, is that favor is more lucrative, more important than money. I get it. I get the concept of that. You can have favor and, live somewhere mortgage free. Somebody can give you a house. You can have favor. Somebody can give you a car. You can have favor. To travel around the world or to take an international trip. You can have favor to do things that your money isn't long enough to do for you. Yeah. All right. Verse 7 in chapter 43. That's where we are. I love what is coming out of this. I love what is coming out of this perspective. If you guys have not subscribed to this channel, please subscribe. We were on the hunt to reach 400 subscribers, and by golly, we have done that with the help of some ingenuity. Thank you all, those of you who have subscribed. But if you have not subscribed, please go ahead and subscribe. I'm doing a commercial break real quick. And if you are not a part of our text messaging thread, go ahead and open up your phones and open it up as if you're going to do a text. The number I want you to type in is 866-939-6096. Type that in. Take a screenshot of this so you'll have it, because I'm going to take it down in a second. 866-939-6096. And so in the part of your text messages where you put the message, I want you to type in the word community with a K, KOMMUNITY, KOMMUNITY. Type that in to 866-939-6096. And every time we go live, every time we have something, not every time, because I don't want you to think I'll bombard you with text messages. It's usually when we have live videos, or if we drop a new video, we'll shoot out a text message to let you guys know so that you can stay connected. Okay, back to verse 7 in chapter 43. And they said, the man said straightly to us, okay, this is the father saying, are you guys dumb with a B on the end? Why would you tell him that you have another brother? And they were like, listen, we were answering him straight away, because he asked us if our father was alive. He asked us if we had another brother. And they said that we just answered him. And they said that he said, bring your brother down. Again, they didn't know who Joseph was. So then Judah said unto Israel, his father, send the lad with me, and we will arise and go, and we will arise and go that we may live and not die, both we and thou, and also our little ones. So Judah is saying, listen, let me take him. I'll make sure that we go down there, because really, if we sit here and we know that we need food, we're going to die from starvation. So just send the boy with me, and I'll make sure he comes back, and I'll take all the clan. It's saying also our little ones. So I'm thinking he's going to take all his kids as well. So verse 8, and Judah said I just read that. Verse 9, I will be surety for him. Of my hand shalt thou require him. I need to pull the verses from the Message Bible or something, because this all thee thou, it's like hard to understand. So that's why I read it to you in the thee thou, but then I interpreted it from the 2024 version of the way we speak. Okay. Verse 9, I will be surety for him. Of my hand shalt thou require him. If I bring him not unto thee and set him before thee, then let me bear the blame forever. Basically, let me take him and I'll bring him back. If I don't bring him back, then it's my fault. My bad, basically. Verse 10, for except we had lingered, surely now we had returned this second time. Verse 11, and their father Israel said unto them, if it must be so now, do this, take the best fruits in the land in your vessels, and carry down the man a present, a little balm and a little honey and spices and myrrh and nuts and almonds. So the father is saying, listen, if you're going to go, we're going to do this. Let's go right. Let's go and take him an offering. Let's go and take him the best fruits that we have. And remember, there was a famine. So what they were taking to Joseph was a sacrifice. And what we have learned what is sacrifice? Sacrifice is worship. That's what worship is. Sacrifice. Worship, I know we say, let's worship the Lord, and then the organ plays and we worship. We stuff comes from our mouth. Yeah, the sacrifice of praise, the sacrifice of worship. But remember when Abraham took his son, Isaac, and he said, me and the lad, we're going to worship. We're going to go up here and worship. They were worshiping. They had the altar. They were going to take let me say this. When they worshiped back in the day, they slaughtered the animal. Abraham said, me and the lad, we're going to worship. He was going to put Isaac on the altar and sacrifice him. So again, what they are doing here in verse 11 is they are taking the best of what they had, even though there was a famine in the land. They're taking the best of what they had, and they were taking it to give and to present as worship to the person who was the Lord of the land. They still didn't know it was the brother. So I want you to think about your worship. And actually, I'm going to end with this. This is a good place to end. I want you to think about your worship and what you give, how you give, where you give. You can give wherever you feel like the Lord is leading you to give. But I want to encourage you to think about your worship. And what does that mean? The sacrifice. The sacrifice is the worship. The sacrifice. So what are you sacrificing? Remember all the people who were giving in the church, and Jesus was watching them as they were giving. They were putting the money on the table. And the one that stood out to him was the widow's mite. It wasn't the amount, because there were people there in the room who were able to give so much more than she could give. It wasn't the amount, but it was the sacrifice that went along with what she gave, because she gave all she had. It was that one mite, but it was all she had. So think about that. I am going to put this up because some of you have asked. And so I'm going to put this up. And for those of you who would like to give, you are welcome to give. And I'll give you the ways to give. You can do that. Remember that we are now 501c3 compliant. So anything that you give um, is tax deductible. The other thing is, when you give, be sure to put your name and your phone number, because when you give to Kimberly J Ministries, we like to call you. We want to give you what the Lord has put on our hearts for you. We want to give you a scripture and just pray for you. So make sure when you give that you put a phone number and you put your name. Cash App is $KJM Ministries 007. The Zelle is the email address, KimberlyJMinistries@gmail.com. And the PayPal is also the email address, KimberlyJMinistries@gmail.com. Or you can go to our website, KimberlyJMinistries.org, and you can give there, and be sure to follow us on all social media platforms. With that being said, it is 9 o'clock. And when we come back, we are going to pick up at verse 12 after we talked about Joseph's father saying, listen, when you go, take this sacrifice, take the best fruit, take the honey and the spices and the nuts and the almonds. And we're going to pick up from there and see the significance of all of that. So thank you guys for hanging out with us today. We certainly appreciate it. Of course, I want to honor your time. So DJ is going to turn the music on and we are going to get out of here. I appreciate you guys. Thanks so much. Chat with you soon. Take care. Bye. It's supposed to be coming up. I don't know why it isn't.